Well, hey Gundam fans, welcome to another episode of Gundam Explained. Today, another Robot Spirits, a really cool one that I was excited about when they announced it, and that is this gigantic MS-02 Perfect Zeong. This is, there's the box right there. I mean, it's huge. Just take it up the screen. And I did a short unboxing that I'll show here in a second. This is the Perfect Zeong that we know from 0079, the original Mobile Suit Gundam, but it also has more elements that are from another kind of like side story that has to do, I think, with a Gunpla maker, some kid that was building it, so we added some stuff to it. But another element too is, as we're used to with the Zeong, it doesn't have any feet or legs, but that was actually part of a manga, so that is canon. So yeah, we're gonna dive in and take a look. First of all, just to kind of show off the unboxing, yeah, huge box. It took me a while to get this thing apart and actually to get it to fit in screen, but you can see how it has all the multiple layers of plastic trays that hold all the different pieces to this, from the mobile suit itself, which it's cool that it's shown as a giant robot, to all the effect pieces that we'll dive into. But yeah, you can see it's kind of a big guy here. All right, here we go. Here's a shot of the Perfect Zeong, kind of in its form that you would see in the Mobile Suit Gundam, original series. Kind of having the effect parts and using its arms for multiple things against Amuro and his RX-78 too. But actually, I'm going to put it back in its default form. We're going to take a look at it that way. All right, so as you can see, this thing is gigantic. And just to kind of help with scale, here is the Robot Spirits RX-78-2 standing alongside it. So that is just to kind of give you context to what we're dealing with here and how large this is and how awkward it is for me to film this. And so let's look at articulation, because there's a lot going on here. We're going to have to do it in phases. So, okay. So we've got the legs here, and I'm telling you, it's very awkward for me to have the camera where it is. I'm actually even using a different camera for this, so I can get the shot I need. But yeah, we can pull back the knee, blocked by its big old back end. But, I mean, it's supposed to have that range, and you can hear that. That's the ratchet, of the legs underneath. So these are on a ratchet. Hopefully that is coming in clear. And then the knee bends, and it's for both of them. And we do have a swivel up here, so that's good. Here at the foot, and this is very reminiscent to any other Robot Spirits that's designed in this fashion, like a Zaku or some other Zeon mobile suit. We have the feet here, and underneath it has its system that we see a lot. It's just a larger version of what we would normally see. So it has like the side to side, forward and back. It has a little bit of swivel. And that, some interesting engineering I like is where we have the spring here. So when you're, I guess, pulling it back, you can actually have it go that far and it just pushes in on that side there. So yeah, with this gigantic thing, totally works, but just gigantic, hard to do on video. But the thing is, it is removable. So if you're very careful, which I'm going to attempt to be, voila. And kind of get a closer look at the legs, and maybe this was an easier way to do it. There's the two tabs that tab in for the purpose of, staying in. We could see where the joints are here. They kind of ratchet this way, more so of a ratchet this way. And then, yeah, the toe also has just a slight, not too much to it. Really, not a lot. Maybe that helps with stabilization. Holes for thrusters there, effect parts. And just kind of cool to see, we're seeing the red kind of look around here with the little decals here to give it that real type marking look. But yeah, this thing is just crazy. Okay, I found a potentially better angle for me to do this, so That way I can be comfortable while I'm going through everything. But yeah, just taking a look at this real quick. We can see where the real type markings are. You know, the red and the white text. You know, not too much, but just enough. The black text there. Underneath, we're seeing some thrusters, and they articulate. A little stiff, but it's kind of limited movement, but they do articulate. Okay, and just for some behind the scenes, I changed the camera type again. I felt like it was going out of focus, and the white balance was being thrown off. But let's look at this. We've got the its little antenna thing going on there. An effect part right there in the mouth hole. Yeah, a lot of coolness going on here, and the head comes off just like you'd expect. I had that hold that close to me to do that. It just uses a simple peg there to do, but I'm just trying to be careful because it even tells you in the instructions, warning delicate, and I do not want these to break, even though it comes with extra ones. Okay, and that was scary to put back on. I was afraid I was going to break it somewhere. Okay, but let's look at articulation here. So we've got the shoulders, the shoulder shielding. They tend to rotate here, and the arms themselves go up pretty high. It seems like they could go up even higher if you rotate this, but you got to be careful. You don't want to break this. This is pointy, and I could see that breaking easily if you're not careful. And also what's cool is you can really see the mechanics behind this, but with the shoulder, and I just pulled that off. All right, so yeah, again, the shoulder moves out a little bit. You'll kind of get some more range if you need to. Rotation in the bicep. Elbow. Doesn't go up all the way. Might not need to, but that's a little different. Now, these come off on all of them, or I think it's just one side. Yeah, just one where you see the little groove in here. That's for the purpose of putting a flight stand in there to kind of hold the arm out when it's using the wires. And then get into the hand. So it comes with multiple hands, but it also comes with an articulated hand. So we have like the ball joint movement in the hand here. And it looks like there would be some movement down in there, but I don't think there's really too much. I think it's really just the ball joint here. But also the thumb, let's see, the thumb moves just a little bit. This is actually enough. It's not like, oh, actually, that's not bad. It kind of goes in more and out more than I thought. Now, it doesn't move like independently, all the little joints, like some master grades, but, it has its movement there. So, that's pretty cool. All right, and getting down here, so this actually comes off. I might show that later. I can show it now. So I guess it's supposed to be potentially, cockpit entering area, and you actually take it off and then readjust it on there to kind of set it like that. I don't know if that's too visible, but that's a pretty interesting thing. Another little piece to lose, really, if you're not careful, because even just sitting on here, it seems to kind of wiggle a bit. And then, down here, the chest has these thrusters, and there are holes in there to put the effect parts, and this moves a little bit. So you can kind of see where there's just a little bit of range added into specific areas in order for you to kind of get a pose you want without it being too stiff. And so when we get to the waist, it turns, but definitely it blocks. So it's not supposed to turn all the way around. And with this part here and this part here being separate from the waist, you can get like a lot of range forward, as you can see there, and quite a bit back, as you can see there. So I would say the most range that comes with this happens to be in the chest or abdomen area. So, and then down here, really, there's no other articulation. It's just this. But I will show off when it's in that mode, there is this piece that's on there. So this actually came off. So these ball joints tend to come out easily. But yeah, it has, it's on a ball joint, so you can plug in effect parts here as well. And then it also has multiple landing gear. So this moves up and this moves up. So then you can have it plugged into the bottom and then, yeah, have it stand. All right, just discovering this camera of mine, phone camera, has an awesome mode for zooming out quite a bit, kind of like a fisheye. So I think this is going to help here on out. One thing, it comes with this sword, which is very interesting. This is probably from the kind of the side story that's not really directly related to 0079. I think it had to do with the guy building the Gunpla, but that seems to go here, and it doesn't really seem to go all the way. It's a replacement side skirt piece that you can put on to do that. But very cool. I think this is actually awesome. I'll probably do a pose in a little bit with it. Just kind of a cool sword piece. Okay, along with that, I'm going to get these out of the way. Tons of thruster effect parts. They're gigantic. Different sizes for the different areas. Because we have thrusters that go on the bottom, skirt piece, like here. Let's see. Probably just stick in like that, or you can maybe put some, around the outer edges, but probably not all. I guess depending on what your position you're having to move in. These giant ones, and then there's also smaller ones that are still kind of big. So these could be for other components, like going on here, potentially, yep. And then I think also here, so yeah, just some other options there. Then we've got a whole bunch of these smaller ones. These could probably be put anywhere you would want, but they also go on the arms because you could take off the arms when it's kind of doing its flight mode where it's, shooting out lasers or whatever, has the wire attached. You can put some effect parts on that as well. It looks like it has some sort of like under construction mode because it has these arms you can put on that don't have the shielding. And you can also take off the shielding that's actually on the legs. And I'm going to do that here in a moment. And it comes with multiple pieces that go around the leg to make it look like these are just components of it while it's still in construction. And for the top of the head, you can actually take off the top part and you can put on these different eye options and probably however you want because as you can see here, it has the eye right here, but also has this top area where the sensor could move. Let's take a look at that actually. So we take off this. And then on the back here, oh, this comes out, and this is a whole separate piece. Okay, so this is where you then switch with these, put that top piece on, and put it back in. But also, if you take this off, and it might be hard to see, but there is like a little switch in here you can move around to then turn the eye where you'd want it to look. So then I can switch it back the other way. Now we can see it's looking the other way. So that's kind of a cool way to do that. Okay, and speaking of the head, these are the two extra antenna pieces I spoke about, just in case those break off or you lose them. They have little small connector parts that look like they're just as easy to break. So I'm really scared for this. I'm going to have to be very careful because I can see... No, I will not see a break in the future. I will not. And then here are some other beam effect parts for either the mouth or even the hands potentially, and pretty interesting that this one's angled, so coming out of the mouth if it wants to shoot down at an angle. Also, for the wire effect with the hands, this is kind of like a metal. I don't know what kind of metal it is, but it can plug in to have the hands sticking out. This kind of gives more stabilization. But along with that are these 4 bendy types. So 2 short and 2 long, but they do bend and they bend well. So that will be able to give you a lot of dynamic options for when you're wanting to pose the hands doing crazy things. All right, so there's another beam effect part it comes with, and it's 2 of them, and these are, I guess, missiles or just beams shooting out of the hands. There is multiple hands. So this type of hand here that you see, this is where you would actually plug that in, and it fits on nice, so you don't really have to worry about anything. Anyway, yeah, it comes with a closed fist, a holding hand, probably for the sword, and then kind of this, dynamic, relaxed hand to do other things with. And then also looks like there's an optional chain piece that you can connect to the arm, and that's actually what this is for. And I don't know, I don't see where I can buy that separately. I haven't really looked though, but that's what this is for. It's just another little piece to lose that it comes with. And also here is the stand. So this will go underneath when you take off the legs. And actually, let's look at the bottom. you know, it actually has it anyway. So you could technically still use the stand with the legs, but that would not make sense since this is shorter, but we'll just go with it. This, even though it does have the landing gear, if you want to make it like it's doing some flight poses, you've got this going on. And what's cool is you can actually take off this part, and then there's little ridges here, so then you can adjust where you want it to be and snap back in. That allows it to keep sturdy. All right, let's look at the instructions real quick. You know, and again, I got to say, I like using my camera phone and have it zoomed out. I feel like I'm getting a lot more room to work with. Let me know what you guys think. But here we go. Here's showing kind of articulation. It's kind of cool when they add that in so you're not missing out on anything. All right, and then there's the spots with the head I was showing where you can kind of change all the different configurations for how the sensor's looking. That little hatch on the doorway, it even says do not misplace. And then, yeah, it's changing the side skirt to put that sword in, which is very cool. Yeah, here are the instructions for that arm piece there where we see the different hands you can put on, the different wire connecting pieces that you can put on. Here, yeah, where you can put the effect part on. Even showing that sold separately, that chain. And then, again, just kind of showing where you can put thrusters. All right, and this is, yeah, double-sided, so here we go. This just showing, again, where you could put thrusters, so a lot of options for that. Oh, you know, and it looks like that piece we saw right here is for shooting, so you would put more of the beam effect part like this on there. And, yeah, there's where you could put the different arm types, and we'll do that here in a second to get a look at that. And then, yeah, down here as well, where it looks like it doesn't have all the armor yet, like it's under construction. And so, again, here's where it's showing you can, you know, remove the legs and put the more of that thruster part. And, you know, it's a little weird, but once you get used to it, it works really good. Okay, and then just showing the landing gear on there, and then the options with the head to recreate the scenes at the end of 0079. And then here we go with the stand and the decals. So really, this thing is fully featured, tons of accessories, tons of things to do. So let's look a little bit at that. All right, to show this off, we can kind of see a difference between the two. Here's those pieces I was talking about where there's like the connection points here. And then you can kind of see on this other one where the red is. Yeah, they're just two different types of pieces. One's kind of a long piece, the other's kind of a panel. Just to kind of see the difference, and that's also on the back here. So on the side, you can see where it's plugged in, and on the back, you can see where you can plug it in. Just kind of a neat option. This must be accurate to something that I'm not too familiar with, but it's cool that that's there to kind of make it look like the guy's under construction. So, yeah, very cool. Well, anyway, there you have it. That is the MSN-02 Perfect Zeong Robot Spirits Ver Anime. Lots of cool poses you can do if you want to, you know, replicate the actions of 0079, of Char and Amuro in their battle at the end, even as far as making it where it's just the headpiece and use the flight stand, or kind of recreate some of that side story stuff that has to do with having the legs completed and having that crazy sword that is really just an awesome extra feature. I mean, this packs a whole lot. So really, at the end, is it worth the price? I would say, unless you just, if you really just love this piece and want it, yes. If you're collecting robot spirits, it's kind of hard to say. If you have a lot of different ones where you can recreate scenes, have like GMs flying around, explosions, I mean, there's really a lot you can do, and I think you would know if you would want it. So, well, anyway, thanks for watching. Let me know what you think in the comments below, if this is something you would get, or if you're just cool with the real grade. Do you have the real grade version? Is there a high grade? And what do you think of the Gunpla versions? But if you haven't liked and subscribed, there's a giveaway going on, so thanks for watching. Talk to you later.